Hello Tube Dwellers and welcome. I'm the Arcadean and this is Mabinogi Duel. So with the recent release of the BlazBlue Collaboration pack, yay! I've had a lot of questions in from people saying how do I get as gems as quickly and efficiently as possible so I can afford as many of those sweet booster packs as I can possibly get my little hands on. So this video is about that. Now if you're a veteran, you're already going to know all of this stuff, so you can probably skip this video, but for everybody else, I hope it's helpful. Now there's two main ways of getting gems in the game. The first way is by doing the arenas, PvP and PvG, and the second is by doing the daily and the draft missions. Now if you're new, then I will assume that you don't have the cards required in order to get into Platinum for the PvP and PvG ladders. So we will be focusing entirely on the daily and the draft. And doing it this way, you will be able to afford enough gems to buy at least one booster pack every day. So, let's jump in and see what deck you're going to need to run for the PvG daily. Okay, here we go. Now, this deck has been designed to run as quickly and efficiently through the daily missions as possible, whilst also remaining as budget level as it possibly can be. All of you should already have access to these cards, and if not, they're very easy to get for a very low price on the player store. So, before we begin, I should point out this deck was not created by me. It was created by a user on the subreddit, link in the doobly-doo below, called Mixus, and I will also link his guide down below. We'll be using his deck because I do very much enjoy it. It's fast, it's efficient, but it's also quite enjoyable to use. It's not just one of those fire and forget kind of deals. So here it is. First thing you will notice is that the deck itself consists of only 6 cards. This is done basically to streamline resources and so that you don't get confused about what you're using. It's very easy to just sort of get into the whole, oh, maybe I'll use this, maybe I'll use that. This just streamlines the whole process. Very simple. So, the idea is that you use Automata Eliza, Phantom of the Wolf, Magic Missile, 2 Skeletons, and Arrow of the Revenge. And you can add another Arrow of Revenge if you really want to. That does help to speed things up just a little bit. You're also going to need to use the Brant hero. That's the guy with the double swords, the one that increases defense and attack of your creatures. So, the general structure of a fight would be turn 1, summon a skeleton. Turn 2, summon another skeleton, unless the enemy's thrown a bomb or something at you, in which case remove that with a magic missile and then summon the skeleton. Turn 3, if the enemy has a lot of HP and resources, then summon Eliza, because the AI just can't keep up with her. If not, just use Arrow of Revenge and Phantom of the Wolf as finishers. If you've had to use Eliza, then on the 4th turn, use your Arrow of Revenge, and if you have enough resources, use Phantom of the Wolf, and then just revive from your grave if anything is dead, and rinse and repeat over and over again. The general idea is to trap the opponent AI at level 1, constantly providing it with threats that needs to answer, which generally causes the AI to freak out a little bit and stops it from leveling up. That way you can just head up to level 3 while it's still stuck down at level 1. So, words are cheap. Let's jump into one of the advanced daily missions and I'll show you just a quick fight to see how it goes. Alright, let's see. Going up against the Fene hero, always quite interesting. Her ability always seems to activate at the worst possible moments. But let's see. Please be gentle. I can't promise anything. Alright, so turn 1, we summon a skeleton. And we wait to see what she does. If she just charges or something like that, well, if she throws down a Lizardman Knight, we basically ignore it. There's nothing we can do about the Lizardman Knight. We don't care anyway. So, out goes the second skeleton. Our poor little skeleton bashes into that Lizardman Knight, and she blocks us with a penguin, which we really don't care about. Okay. So, our opponent still has a lot of HP and resources, so we will summon Eliza, and we will summon her as far away from all the enemy creatures as possible, so that she has a chance to charge up as much attack as possible. She levels up, which gives us all some defense, which is always lovely.
Your turn begins now.
And Automata Eliza moves on and charges up. We will level up ourselves. There we go. And the skeleton deals some damage, and Eliza keeps
begins.
Pounding away there. Doppelganger trauma comes out, but doesn't do anything.
Generated resource.
And all we have to do now is allow Eliza to
Turn
charge up
begins
once,
now.
remove the penguin with a magic missile. There she goes. Bye bye.
Defeated opponent's
And we
creature.
automatically win. So as you can see, no big threats, no big deals. Eliza, the AI finds it almost impossible to deal with. So make the most of her attack increasing ability and buff all of the creatures on your field with the Phantom of the Wolf if you feel the need to. But generally, Eliza herself will just steamroll. Okay, next up, Draft Daily Mission. Now, the draft missions are actually pretty tricky for new players because there are so many cards. It's impossible to know what all of them do and how all of them synergize and everything. So this one can be a little bit difficult. Nevertheless, there are some general rules that if you follow, you will have a much, much better chance of success at. So, first rule is try to go for a mono-colored deck. Those tend to be the strongest because they can ramp up the fastest, flood the field with your creatures, and just try to kill your enemy as quickly as you possibly can. The draft mission is about getting as much damage out onto the field as early as you possibly can to prevent whatever it is that the AI is about to do. Number 2 is always remember to have at least one low-cost single-target removal spell. Now that could be Drag to Hell, Surprise Attack, Hunt, Magic Missile, Holy Missile, any of these, so long as it is at least, so long as it is 2 resource or less, and it is a single-target removal spell. Also, make sure to have one, and probably not more than one, area of effect removal. That would be Holy Spear, Flame Emission, anything like that. Anything that kills a lot of creatures all at once. And the third and final guideline to follow is try not to worry too much about synergizing or comboing your cards. It doesn't really work well in draft missions. It works out fine in Draft Arena when you're constantly recycling and using a lot of gold in order to get, proper combos together. But in Draft Mission, don't worry about it. Just go for cards that are strong, that have good HP, good attack values. Don't worry too much about the ability if you're not entirely sure what they do. Just focus on solid attack and defense. And make sure that you have a lot of low-cost creature cards. Don't stock up on a lot of high-cost creature cards. So try to make sure that the majority of your creatures cost 3 resources or less, and maybe have 1, possibly 2, that cost about 4, 5, 6, 7, that kind of thing. Those will be your big finishers, but you're going to want those little low-cost creatures to get them right out onto the field as quickly as you can. Use the removal spells and anything that your opponent brings out, and just try to deal as much damage as you possibly can and kill your opponent before you get into level 3 and things like that. One final thing to be aware of in Draft Mission is that, as you can see here, for example, we have no really good cards. There's no single target removals. There's no proper AoE removals. So in this case, you can actually just tap on Cancel Deck Building, say discard the deck and go back. Wait for it all to go around again, blah, 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 blah. Once the main menu is back up again, you scroll down to the draft mission and say create a new deck and start. Now you can do this as many times as you like, over and over and over and over again. Keep doing it until you get a good starting hand, a lot of single color cards or some good removal spells, things like that, or until your patience gives out. At that point, start locking in the various cards that you actually like the look of. And remember that if you have too many resources, let's say you have like 4 resources locked onto the board, the game will ask you which one you want to get rid of, and then it will automatically start sort of flipping that card or those cards until it finds a card that is of the color that you want to keep. So you will always start with a 12 card deck, but you can't start with more than 3 resources. And that's about it. Now, bear in mind that the arenas are absolutely the best way to get gems. So if you have enough cards and you're confident in your abilities, definitely do the PvP and the rookie arena in order to get those gems and all the extra little goodies that come from that as well. Nevertheless, for beginners, the daily draft and farming the roulette wheel afterwards is definitely a really good way of getting a hold of gems, and guarantees that you will be able to afford at least one booster pack every single day. Now, one final thing that you can do if you have enough gold is you can go into the store, scroll down to the bottom and select the gold membership. If you pay 150,000 golds, you will get 5 gems a day, which does rack up over time, but only do that if you actually have more than enough gold to spare. Okay, that's it from me, and that's it for this video. So thank you for watching, I hope it helped, and a special thank you to all the Arcanauts who have subscribed so far. Until next time, have fun, and good luck.